So, second to last riding day today, and just a couple of thoughts for if you're coming to Spain. The weather is very interchangeable, so bring some layers, bring something that can be cool or warm. We've noticed that, we've had the weather change quite a bit, and it is quite cool today, but we've had it up in the high 30s. If you are veggie, Jazz is veggie, it is a nightmare to get food, and probably worse than anywhere in the world that I've ever encountered to get food for a veggie. France is bad, but it seems to be a whole new level in Spain. If you come out of season like we did, I think we're probably like a week before the season starts, then the hotels are really, really cheap. So it's a good time of the year to come in terms of weather and how cheap the hotels and everything are, but the facilities aren't always open. A couple of other things. Just got to get used to Spanish customer services, which we've had a couple of highlights, but in general you kind of get treated as a bit of an inconvenience when you turn up at hotels and things, and they tend to try and not want to help too much. So beautiful accommodations though, but they're not the most customer service centric place in the world. When you're coming over, if you're planning your fuel stops and you've maybe looked on your route for where the fuel stops are and everything, we've noticed as we've ridden through that there's a hell of a lot of fuel stops gone out of business and are boarded up, but are still on the map as fuel stops. So not a big problem if you've got a big tank, but if you're someone who's maybe on a sports bike or an enduro that's got a much smaller tank, then budget for your fuel stops. Maybe stop a little bit earlier, because we've noticed a lot of them have gone under. Fuel price isn't too bad compared to home, it's either comparable or cheaper. We did pick up a really, really dodgy tank of fuel, we think, a couple of days ago, just from a reputable petrol station, but it seemed like everyone's bikes ran really, really badly for probably, well, next 100 or so miles until we did stop and we did dilute it with some fuel from a different petrol station, and it seemed to clear. Rural Spain, don't expect anyone to speak English, so make sure you polish up a bit on your Spanish. We're getting more into the touristy bit now, so a lot more people do speak English, and we've used the translator app quite a few times to success, so that was pretty good. But yeah, beautiful scenery, absolutely stunning scenery that changes all the time. I mean, the Picos is amazing, it's worth it for that just alone, but when you get into the flat bits and the touristy bits and the coast, I mean, we're heading back to the coast again today, and you know, it's worth coming just for that. And as I say, because we came out of season, it's not been that expensive a trip. I think the most expensive part of it is the boat, and you know, definitely worth it. And you're bearing in mind you can be in the Picos from the UK, what, a day's riding to Portsmouth and then 24 hours on a boat, so you're talking, what, probably 36 hours from most places in the UK you can be in the Picos. It's definitely well worth it as long as you can stomach the price of the boat. And the other good thing is, while we've been here, we've been kind of avoiding the whole World Cup thing at home, which has been really, really good, so that's been kind of nice. But you know, as per always, it's a good group, good roads, good food, good banter, nice scenery, and as I'm sure you're all aware, absolutely more than happy, as always, travelling on a bike. It's definitely the way to see it. It's Kev's first trip on a bike abroad, and he's done loads of trips in his car and camped. So you know, he's travelled quite a lot, but he did say he's noticing more the sights, the sounds, the smells, the temperatures and everything else on the bike. So I'll get Kev to do a bit of a first timers on tour sort of reflection video at the end of this. So I'll switch the camera off for a bit, because it looks like we are stuck behind lots of trucks and we're not going anywhere quickly anytime soon. Hopefully the weather will improve a little bit, because it has gone a little bit nippy. So that's it from me for now. I'll just switch the camera off, and when we get moving. Oh, looks like the wide load's pulled over. I think that's what was holding us. So switch back on in a bit.